out of the game.
Hi, I'm Kelsa Dickey, the CEO of the Financial Coach Academy and my financial coaching business, Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. My coaching journey began more than a decade ago with me helping people for free from my dining room table. What was once a little business of mine has grown into a 7-figure company that employs a team of people. My goal is simple, to help you fall more and more in love with financial coaching. I believe financial coaching is the most rewarding way to make a living. If you are an aspiring financial coach or have been coaching for years, I'm here to help you create a business you love that gets your clients massive results. Let's get to it. Hey, financial coach. We're going to kick off the episode with one of the reviews that was left on Apple Podcasts. This one was left by Eric T. Hyde, and he says, my journey with financial coaching started with Kelsa and her team. I've been coaching first responders for years. Love that niche, by the way, Eric. And finally decided to launch full-time in 2023. Congratulations. I am a student of the Financial Coach Academy and absolutely love what they offer coaches like me. I'm excited to watch her grow to an even larger audience because selfishly, that will help me grow in my business. Thank you for the encouragement, the support, the cheering, and thank you for doing your thing too, Eric. I am super excited for you. And I agree. We are all sort of growing this profession together. I still believe we are at the infancy of financial coaching, and all of us who are in this space today get to determine how this profession grows. And I would love to see it be a profession that is built on collaboration and support for one another. And just imagine, I know we see this happen in the Financial Coaches Unite Facebook group so many times where somebody will post a question and say, I've got a client who's, dealing with this, or this is how they're thinking, or this is what's going on financially. What things have you tried that have worked for you? And we're all there to sort of be this brain hive for this coach so that they can support their client even better. And I just think that is really beautiful. And I want to encourage that as well. We can all grow together. Thank you, Eric, for the review. I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to talk in this episode about the things you need and don't need to start financial coaching. So if you are thinking of starting as a financial coach, or if you have already started, but maybe you feel like you're spinning your wheels, or like you're spending maybe too much time on some of the wrong things, or you're just questioning like, where do I go first? And you're sort of down this rabbit hole of like research and trying to figure out what you need to do and don't need to do. This episode is going to be great for you because this is all the things you need or don't need to start financial coaching. I say all the time that there came a point in my life when I was still working for corporate America, and the fear of regret that I was worried I would have of like not trying to dedicate my life to something that I thought I would love, to financial coaching, was stronger than my fear of failure. But I absolutely did fear failure at that time. I did. I had thoughts like, I might not make a great financial coach, or what the hell is financial coaching anyway, right? Or am I even going to be able to make a living at this? And I had a lot of people telling me like, you want to do what? You want to do just budgeting? Like, is that really a thing? And even though I felt scared at that time and it was very real and present fear for me, I just knew that my fear of regret was stronger. I knew that if I didn't try this, that I would live to regret it. And I just couldn't stomach that. And so Michael and I started a dream fund, and we established a 1-year runway for ourselves to get the financial coaching business up and running, which meant I had 1 year to sort of start, making it contribute financially to our household. And at that point, if 1 year, if I couldn't do it then I would, look for other options. But we absolutely had a plan B and a plan C because I just didn't know how it would go. Before I move on really quickly, I want to go on a little bit of a tangent. Come with me for just a second. Do you have a dream fund? Do your clients have a dream fund? We do, Michael and I. Most of the coaches on my team do. Our clients have dream funds. It's got some money in it, and I don't even know what it's for yet, because the reality is that sometimes our dreams can feel a bit unclear to us, especially if it's a massive pivot, like leaving a corporate job to start a business when you have no idea how to run a business or what that actually entails, right? Sometimes our goals smack us like square in the face, where we go a period of time where we don't really know, we feel a little rudderless, or we feel a little lost, and we're just feeling some things out, and then bam, that goal becomes very clear and it's like becomes urgent and pressing and we just have to like work at it, right? It's this idea that like, well, now suddenly I'm ready and I just feel like I've got to start taking action towards this dream in some way or I'm going to go crazy, right? Like it feels like we're about to burst. A dream fund is a great way to set yourself up for future success. I always think of it as my strategy of believing in myself and believing in my future. And this is exactly how we talk about it with our clients as well, that we know we're capable of more. We may not know what that more is right now, but we just know that we're meant for more and we are preparing for it by funding a dream fund. You're believing in your future and you're funding your future, even though you don't know what it is yet. You just believe in it, and that is powerful. So if you don't have a dream fund yet, please create one for yourself. Tangent over. Okay. So in that first year, I had to bootstrap a lot. Like we didn't have a lot of money. We had this 1 year runway and there was only so much that I could invest in my business back then. If I had someone guide me at that time and help me figure out what I actually needed and didn't need and what I should be putting my money behind to start my business and all that kind of stuff, I know it would have been so helpful. So that is the purpose of this episode. It's twofold. One, to pass on what I have learned on this journey to all of you. And number two, to help you overcome so many of the delays and the stumbling blocks that I am sure you are experiencing so that you're able to achieve success so much faster. So let's dive in. Number one, you do not need a certification. You need a belief in yourself. You don't need a certification. You need a belief in yourself. You do not need letters after your name. You do not need someone else to tell you that you are qualified to do this work. There is no certification that is required to call yourself a financial coach. What you are looking for when you are looking for a certification is someone to tell you that you are qualified. So what you need instead is to simply to believe that about yourself. Tell yourself today, I am qualified to help someone. Have this trust that what you know today is good enough to help someone else. You are capable of helping other people based on what you already know. It may not be the most financial knowledge of anybody out there. I know that I don't have all of the things that I'm supposed to know about finances. And I've been doing this for a really long time, but I believe that the knowledge I have is more than what my clients have. And so I am able to help them. Does that make sense? I also believe in my ability to learn and grow as needed. So if a client asks me a question I don't know the answer to, that is just an opportunity for me to learn and grow right alongside them. Believe that you are an expert, even though the people you look up to are experts as well. Just because they are an expert and they maybe know more than you, yes, that makes them an expert, but that doesn't disqualify you as being an expert to your clients who don't know as much as you, okay? There are multiple levels of being an expert. Here is a little exercise that you can do if you're really fixated on this idea of a certification. Ask the people around you what certification they think you should get if you want to become a financial coach. Now, I'm not talking about other financial experts. I'm talking about the people you would serve. Friends, family, clients, coworkers, that kind of thing. Ask the people who are not in this space what they think you should do if you want to become certified as a financial coach. Chances are they have no idea. They don't know what is out there, what exists. They'll be like, I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. I don't even know what any of them are. So this is like, I know the fear coaches have is that what if someone asks me if I'm certified? You can simply, ask back, which certifications are you hoping that your coach has? Chances are they don't have any. Okay. They don't know what they are, so they can't tell you what they think you should have. Okay. When people ask this question, and I would say that we don't hear this question hardly ever. Like I never get this question and I don't have any letters after my name. What happens, but I know we fear that people are going to ask this question. So that's why I want to talk about it. It's really the question behind the question that you want to pay attention to. And the reason somebody is asking you this question, if you get it, is because They're wondering, how can I trust you? They want to trust you, but you haven't given them enough of another reason to trust you yet, right? But I think the reason I don't ever get this question is because I build trust in other ways. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about the trust triad, which is a way of focusing your content and your messaging and how you talk about what you do in a way that builds trust. And I think that this is so much more powerful than any credentials that most people don't know what they mean anyway. Okay. Here's another question that you could ponder. Okay. If you are really focused on this idea of a certification, do you think certifications always make people great at what they do? I don't. I think about my grandfather, who I grew up right across the street from him. They lived right across the street from us growing up, and he owned his own business. He had an 8th grade education, and he was well respected in our community. Everyone loved him. And when he passed away, the number of people that were at his funeral just talking about how good of a businessman he was and how well respected he was, and he was a part of the community and all of that, it wasn't from a place of knowledge out of a book. It was just his people skills that afforded him that. And I think that that is really where the skill comes in. Okay. Think of all the professionals in any industry who are certified or licensed, and some of those folks are really bad at what they do despite being certified, right? Certifications do not determine your skill level. You want them to. You want someone to tell you, like, you are now qualified so you can go and like do this confidently. But unfortunately, what happens all too often is, and this happens, like, almost every coach that I talk to who takes a certification calls me and says, like, I don't know what to do now. So they get a certification, and they think it's going to be like this cure all, and they get it. And then they're like, well, now I don't know what to do, because the skill in coaching comes from actually coaching. In order to be a great coach, you have to coach. You can gain knowledge from a certification, but that doesn't mean you're now in a position to actually demonstrate that knowledge, okay? You have to gain experience. You have to gain clients. You have to practice applying that knowledge in order to get great at coaching. And if a program tells you how to coach, which frankly, most of them don't even do that, so don't get me started on that, but it doesn't give you the tools or the skills to gain clients so that you can actually apply that knowledge. So the certification falls short in my eyes. Some of you know this, but a while back, and I mean years ago now, we actually launched a certification for financial coaches. We had it for about 2 years, and truthfully, like, I created it because I sort of bought into a lot of the questions that I was getting about coaches wanting a certification, and they wanted it to satisfy. I wanted to satisfy that desire for coaches is really what it was. And when Michael came on board to Physical Fitness, he came from physical therapy. That was his education, his training, all of his career experience was in physical therapy, AKA nothing to do with personal finance, right? And so when he first joined the team, he went and got a whole bunch of certifications. Like, he took like 4 or 5 different ones. There's actually a video in Financial Coaches Unite. It's a very, very old one, but it's still relevant, where he talks about the ones he got and like sort of what the topics were that were discussed and how they were bad, you guys. They were not good. They were not a good use of our money. They were not a good use of his time and energy. They didn't really teach him anything about personal finance. And he took a whole bunch of them, and they were just garbage, honestly. And in some way at that time, I thought, I'm going to create one that actually is helpful for coaches. And that's really where our desire to launch a certification came from back in the day, is that I actually wanted to create one that would do a good job for coaches. At that time, looking back now, hindsight is 2020, launching that certification was out of integrity for me. And it wasn't because what we created was bad. I actually love what we created. It wasn't about knowledge. It was more so about the application of knowledge. It was like a practicum, right? It was a way that you could practice coaching and then test your skills in order to get certified. I'm really proud of what we created, but Here's why we ultimately decided to scrap it. And this is something that I didn't know before we launched a certification. Accreditations and certifications, at least here in the States, are simply a pay-to-play system. Systematically, the entire philosophy of getting an accreditation and having a body that provides accreditation and that entire process is really flawed, you guys. It's pretty sad, actually. It is simply a pay-to-play system. That's all it is. Here's one thing you can do. Go find a program that's accredited. It could be in any profession, in any industry. It doesn't have to be personal finance. Go find a program that says it's accredited and go research the accrediting body, okay? Go to their website and actually call them. Pretend like you want to have your program certified, okay, or accredited. And ask them what the process is for that. Ask them really specific questions. What do you look at? Why is that important? What is the renewal process so that this gets accredited year after year after year? Ask them what they review. Ask them for the proof that they look for, that they need in order to accredit a program. Accreditate, whatever that word is. It's okay. I'm better with numbers than I am words. No, I'm just kidding. So in order for them to accreditate a program, what exactly is that process like and what do they do? And here's the thing. My guess is the number one qualification that they need that's required is that someone pays them their fee. And I did not understand how that process worked until we launched our own. And as soon as that happened, I just felt like it was out of integrity for us to have it. If you want a certification, listen, find the cheapest damn one, get it done, and then move on, really and truly. And let your mind focus on actually gaining clients and practicing your coaching skills and gaining the experience. Okay. You can't become a good runner by reading a book. You actually got to lace up your shoes and go out for a jog, right? You can't become a great coach without actually coaching. And most of the certification programs do not help you to do that. So then you've got all of these great skills, or at least you feel like you do, but you don't have any way of actually using them. Okay. All right. Number 2, you don't need a fancy website, a professionally designed logo, or fancy handouts. Instead, you need a simple way to give people your email and phone number. Okay. What I mean here is that you don't need some robust hosting server, all the widgets on your website, and all of the flashy things that a fancy website can do for you. You don't need all of that. When you first start, you need a place where people can connect with you. If you are listening to this episode on your cell phone, your tablet, or computer right now, then you already have a way. You can give people your email and phone number to start with. Don't let this idea of having some fancy website overcomplicate this step or be a distraction to you. Going down the rabbit hole of learning some tech is just like this big time suck for new business owners, okay? If you want to have a really quick drop and drag website that you spend a few hours on, tops, okay? Do not tinker endlessly with your website. This is something that coaches in the academy want to do all of the time. There is a reason why we have the website towards the end of the academy, because we originally had it sort of in module, I think it was like 2. And what we found was that coaches would just tinker endlessly and keep finessing because it's safer. It's safer to be working on your website than going to a networking meeting, right? Like going to a networking meeting can be a little scary. So it feels safer to just from your computer work on your website, not stop. Don't fall victim to that. Coaches have gained clients long before websites even existed. Can a website make things easier? Sometimes, yeah. Sure, it gives you a set space to send people to, and there you can have all the different ways that people can connect with you, your phone, your email, or you can just give people your phone and email when you first start, right? That is an okay alternative. Because a website is not a magic pill like most people think it is. It's not like all of a sudden you have a website and people are going to come to you, okay? I feel like so many people have, struggled with that. I hear all the time, well, like, I have this website, but like, I don't know. I don't think anybody even finds it, right? It's not some magic pill. The valuable part of your business, coach, I need you to hear me on this, is not some professional logo or a fancy Excel spreadsheet that has got cool formulas in it, although I will geek out on that with you, I promise. The most valuable part of your business is you. You are the most valuable part of your business. You are where the value comes from when it comes to financial coaching. All of the rest you can worry about later, okay? Number 3, you don't need a business checking account, a tax ID, a formal business plan, or have already formed an LLC. Instead, you need possibly some local requirements. The local requirements that you might need are going to be based on where you live. You might need a local business license. For example, they may want you to register your business. The latter one is like you might have to register as a sole proprietor, for example. So that means you are a one-person business. You are not a corporation or an LLC. And in some places, even a sole proprietor does not need to be registered with the state in order to exist. So this is just some states' requirement and some states don't. If you are the sole owner of a business, you become a sole proprietor simply by conducting business. So even though there aren't complicated requirements for establishing yourself as a sole proprietor, as a business at that stage, there may be some local registrations that you need, okay? You can go to nolo.com, NOLO.com. It's a legal website. There is a 50-state guide to establishing your business. I'm sorry if you're outside the states. I'm not sure where you can go to find this. It literally tells you for your state, if you click on that, what you need based on where you live. Okay. So that is nolo.com. You could also call your corporation commission or secretary of state's office. It's going to be called something different depending on where you live. And you simply ask them what you need in order to start. And now here's the exact question that if you call, I would ask. Okay. And these words are really important. What do I need in order to start a coaching business that's going to be just me? What do I need in order to start a coaching business that is going to be just me? Remember to say coaching and not financial coaching. The reason I suggest that is because financial coaching is a subset of life coaching. We've talked about that before. It is not a subset of financial advising. We're not talking about investments, asset allocation, risk tolerances, liquidity of investments. We're not talking about stocks and bonds, mutual funds, and those types of things. But as soon as somebody hears the word financial, it can cause some confusion. They immediately want to overcomplicate some things about what it is that you do, what it is you don't do, and all of that. And so the way that this is worded is really important. What do I need in order to start a coaching business that's going to be just me? Okay. That is what I would do. And that is with your Secretary of State, Corporation Commission, if you are in the States. Number 4, you don't need more financial knowledge or more knowledge. Instead, you need to hone in on one topic. So you don't need a whole bunch more knowledge. You want to hone in on one particular topic. A breadth of one topic is better than a variety or a plethora of a whole bunch of different, little pieces of info. What I want you to think about is going really deep on one topic versus covering a wide array of topics. Instead of trying to cover a whole bunch of different topics in one session even, what I would rather have you do in one session is pick one topic and cover it in a really deep way. Go into it more in depth. Tackle that topic from a bunch of different angles and a bunch of different perspectives. Ask a whole bunch of different questions. Tackle that topic from the past, present, and future of what the client thinks and feels. Okay. Tapping on all those details provides way more quality in your session, and you're going to have a bigger impact on the client. And the client will ultimately see bigger results by doing it that way. Here are some examples. Are you an expert in helping couples save and pay for fertility treatments? There is so much depth you could go into around the emotional, the financial, the process itself, and really helping clients to navigate all of that, right? Are you an expert in helping nurses get ahead and satisfy their caretaker tendencies by helping them prioritize their needs and wants in their budget over everyone else's? Are you helping any profession get ahead without picking up extra shifts and overtime? Are you an expert in helping attorneys leave their corporate law jobs and the golden handcuffs that come with it? Are you an expert in helping newlyweds start their marriages with mutual goals that they both can get excited about? These are very specific areas that you could focus on, and you can get really good at coaching on those particular situations. All of those come down to your niche. And we did a whole series on niching starting in episode 10. So episode 10 of this podcast was all about niching down, and there was a series of those episodes that's going to help you really determine which knowledge you want to gain more of. But chances are it's a topic you already know quite a bit about, but you actually want to go more in depth on that same topic versus go out and get a whole bunch of knowledge on a bunch of different topics. Okay. Let's see. I want you to take the knowledge you already have, and I want you to explore diving into that particular area with more depth versus trying to expand the variety of things you talk about. Last but not least, number 5, you don't need more knowledge. Again, you need experience, coach. You probably know more than I do about personal finance at this point. I promise you that's true. I see some of the things that people talk about in the comments in Financial Coaches Unite, and I'm just like blown away by the vast amount of knowledge and wisdom in the members of that group. I am so proud of so many of the people who know their craft, right? The reason you don't need to know about everything is because you've got resources, people you can tap into who can help you know what you need to know when that time comes, okay? You can't get great at coaching without actually coaching. You can't get good at running by reading a book. You are going to learn so much more by doing. You've just got to go out there and do the thing. And what happens with all these things we think we need is that we're using them to pacify the thing that we know we need to do, but it's scary. And that's go out and get a client and start coaching, right? So we use all of these things sort of as a buffering mode. We say like, oh, I got to do that first, and then I'll go do this. And I'm here to tell you, you don't. You can help people today. You are an expert today because chances are you know more already than what your clients know, and they need your help. Okay. They need you out there, spreading your message and trying to help people. So those are the things you need and don't need in order to start financial coaching. Coaching is all about figuring out what you think of something and how that is impacting how you feel and the actions you take. In order to honor the coaching philosophy, I like to end every episode with a question for you to reflect and ponder on for yourself. The purpose is to deepen your awareness, but also help you gain clarity on the episode topic. And it also creates the opportunity for you to share your thoughts with me and other financial coaches. So let's get the discussion going. I would love to hear from you. If you are watching on YouTube, drop a comment with your answer on today's question, or you can join the conversation in our free community for financial coaches, Financial Coaches Unite. Just hop on Facebook and search for that group and then ask to join. Here is your question. Have you found yourself stuck thinking you need any of these 5 things? And if so, what are you going to do about it instead? Have you found yourself stuck thinking you need any of these 5 things? And if so, what are you going to do instead? I believe financial coaching is the best and most rewarding way to make a living. I truly love what I do. If you are ready to learn and see how to become a profitable, successful financial coach, check us out at financialcoachacademy.com to learn more about our online courses, our free trainings, and our events. As always, I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions for this podcast, head on over to financialcoachacademy.com/podcast and let me know what they are. And if you love this podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. It might just get read on a future episode, and it would really mean the world to me. I will see you next week, Coach.